Where do the wealthy live in Cincinnati? Hey y'all, Mike Hines here with Oyler Hines of Coldwell Banker. So today we're gonna dive into the wealthiest suburbs in the Cincinnati metro area and share with you some different statistics as to why the wealthy are gravitating to these neighborhoods and what's attracting them so much, some fun facts about them, some numbers, and some details on the real estate. Because we really wanna share with you a number of neighborhoods where the wealthy seem to be attracted. Now, keep in mind though, when we say wealthy, that doesn't mean that everybody with any money is going to these areas. There's so many great neighborhoods in the city of Cincinnati and the Cincinnati metro that we don't want anybody else to be forgotten. So as I'm going through this, go down below in the comments, add other neighborhoods that you think we should add for another follow-up video. We can't list all the dozen or 24 great neighborhoods throughout here that tend to attract wealthy homes, but we wanted to hit the high tiers of these. So that's what this video is all about. It's about breaking down the wealthiest neighborhoods so you can see where and what is driving so much money to be invested as far as homes go in these areas. So without further ado, number one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in all of Cincinnati is Hyde Park. It's not an area that's been shy about showcasing all the elements that go along with it. In fact, since the 1890s, Hyde Park has been where much of the wealthy that were maybe working in downtown Cincinnati or other areas gravitated to build beautiful, prestigious homes in the States. And Hyde Park over the years has really become quintessential with that charming urban, more of a urban feel of a downtown area with the square, beautiful estates, homes of all shapes and sizes. But Hyde Park is without a doubt an easy place to start when it comes to the wealthiest suburbs. So really quick, going back into history for a second. So this was a place that wealthy businessmen or businesswomen in the late 1800s came to retreat away from some of those factories that were maybe more quintessential with downtown. They wanted a little quieter of a estate or a property that wasn't in the hustle and bustle of everything going on downtown, which is where most of the industry was related to or was focused into in the late 1800s. So Hyde Park, if you don't know where that is, first off, it's right off of I-71. You get off of the Dana exit or the Smith Edwards exit. It's kind of nestled right along so many other great communities like Mount Lookout, Columbia, Tusculum. But when you look at those areas and you look at the folks that live there, the median household income is around $75,000. Now, 40% of those living in Hyde Park make over $100,000 each year. And an even better fact is the top 5% of homeowners in Hyde Park earn over $600,000 per year. It's a lot of income, obviously, in the Hyde Park area, which naturally, because of the area, it drives up the home prices over there. So let's dive into home prices. In 2024, the median sale price in Hyde Park was $1.45 million. Quite a steep price. It's obviously, if you drive up and down the streets over there, you can see just why there's such a great average and amount of gorgeous homes over that way. Again, a lot of them are a little bit older built homes, but beautiful properties over there. Lots of character, really rich in that history, and that's why people love that area. And another fun fact is there was over 35 homes that were sold over $1 million in Hyde Park in 2024. We were lucky enough to be part of a few of those sales. And the most expensive house to sell in Hyde Park was over $3 million in 2024. But a little fun fact that you may not be aware of is that $3 million house was obviously on MLS. It was a public transfer. We know of plenty of others that were well above and beyond $3 million that were new construction that you may not see the transfer on MLS or on the auditor. Sometimes those always don't get transferred. And because they're a little bit more discreet, we're obviously not gonna throw numbers out. But Hyde Park is a special place and the wealthy absolutely tend to gravitate towards that area because of all those reasons I just mentioned. So let's dive into our next one. We don't have to go too far down the road. This place is actually also one of the safest in the entire Cincinnati area. Mount Lookout is literally abutting the Hyde Park area. It's right there, a little bit closer to Columbia, Tusculum. They call it Mount Lookout. Obviously, it's a little bit more hilly when you get over that way. It's on the edge, what we would call the eastern edge of Hyde Park, a little bit further away from Interstate 71, but a gorgeous, gorgeous area. So Mount Lookout is only about 10 minutes from downtown Cincinnati. It's one of the 52 neighborhoods that make up the city of Cincinnati. People love driving up and down the Mount Lookout streets, gorgeous homes just like there is in the Hyde Park area. But you also have some really great parks in Mount Lookout. Alt Park is phenomenal. People come from miles and miles around. In fact, I just saw tons of videos of kids sledding over at Alt Park and having a blast over that way. And of course, there's Alms Park as well. hundreds of acres of parkland. It's right up on the hill. Some of them have views, just overlooking the vistas. It is what makes Mount Lookout so special. Those parks, the streets that make it up, and really just the properties are nothing else. And you even have views on some of these properties that are overlooking those same vistas. And that's why people have chosen to buy some of those and even build homes on those. Over half the population makes over $100,000 a year as far as household income in Mount Lookout. And then the top 5% earn about an average of $600,000. So again, lots of concentrated wealth when it comes to Mount Lookout. So let's look at the real estate. The median sales price in Mount Lookout is $1.35 million. Of course, there's plenty below, plenty above, but that's the median sales price. Also, there were over 13 home sales above $1 million in 2024. And then if you look at the most expensive sale, what do we think it was? $2.75 million in Mount Lookout. Again, very comparable to Hyde Park in so many ways, but a completely different vibe. In fact, I was just down there the other day enjoying Delwood, which is an awesome burger place. They have so many great spots down there, Zips, Mount Lookout Tavern. It's just a great little downtown. And that's the beauty of having some of these urban centers, Hyde Park, Mount Lookout, that have their own little city center, their own little neighborhood center, which makes them that much more special. So you can enjoy not just the real estate there, and while those wealthy folks are gravitating there. Again, it is a mixture of folks, a mixture of people, mixture of incomes. And I think that's what makes living in these neighborhoods so special, because of the eclecticness. So we're gonna zoom back into Cincinnati for just a quick moment, and we're gonna hit on one other neighborhood that's just a stone's throw from the central business district in downtown Cincinnati, and that is Mount Adams. Mount Adams is a vibrant neighborhood, lots of longtime residents and incredible views of downtown Cincinnati, views of the river, and really just cool homes. I mean, when I say cool homes, this is where Barry Larkin used to live back in the day, one of many places that he has. They're just cool spots that people gravitate to because it's right next to the city. It's its own little neighborhood. Yes, it's nestled on the top of the hill. Of course, they have a common theme, Mount Lookout, Mount Adams. Of course, you have the 7 hills around the city of Cincinnati. I'm just gonna piece a couple of those details together so you can put it all together. But Mount Adams is really special, and it's just a neighborhood that's got a lot going on. Over the years, it's transitioned between a party neighborhood to a more sleepy neighborhood because of bars coming and going. But really, there's some tried and true residents that have been there, some businesses that people absolutely love. But really, that neighborhood and small feel is why people gravitate to Mount Adams. There's so much going for it. Of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Eden Park or the Crone Conservatory. All of these great places. In fact, we were just at the Crone at the butterfly exhibit, taking my kids down there. It's an awesome spot, and surrounded by Eden Park, which has an incredible little lookout. You have a great location down there that people just absolutely love. And then of course, the Cincinnati Art Museum, Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park. There's a lot of culture and great spaces to meet and to bring people together in Mount Adams. In fact, if you don't live in Mount Adams, you're still making your way up there quite often to enjoy places like the Playhouse in the Park or the Crone Conservatory, just like I mentioned. Let's dive into some of the numbers and understand what we're looking at. So when you actually come to the average household income, it's $86,000. Then we mentioned $600,000 being an average of the top 5%. In Mount Adams, that is significantly higher at $900,000 is an average for the top 5%. That's a lot of wealth that's concentrated in such a small little pocket and a small little neighborhood. And then you come into the $700,000 median sales price of homes. So you see we're making some common themes. A little bit lower than when it comes to Hyde Park and Mount Lookout. But of course, as you look at the median sales price, that's $1.467 million. So that's a very high number. So obviously when we say median, we are not talking about the average price point. We're just talking that middle threshold as far as what goes. So $1.46 million. There's new construction that's down there. Several streets that have gorgeous new construction homes that have been built over the past 7 to 10 years, and even some brand new ones that are way higher price points. So when it comes to the number of homes that have been sold over $1 million, that's 13 homes over $1 million in 2024. And also another big piece of this is the most expensive home to have sold in 2024 was $2.7 million, $2.75 to be exact. And you may be interested to know that one of the most expensive listings in the entire Cincinnati area, which is around $4 million, is the house on Celestial. That's a super modern home by Jose Garcia. If you want to look at an incredible house, take a look at this one. It is awesome, and it's listed right now. It's an incredible listing, I believe by Gail Coughlin, It's an awesome property to take a look at, incredible views and really worth a look. And for the grand finale of affluent and wealthy neighborhoods in Cincinnati, of course, you could probably guess where we are. If you're from Cincinnati, it is Indian Hill. The village of Indian Hill is special in so many ways. First off, it's only about 15 to 20 minutes from downtown Cincinnati. A very unique part of it is that it's full of 1, 3, and 5 acre parcels, which means there's no single family half-acre lots. Now, there are some non-conforming lots that might be closer to that size, but the overwhelming majority of lots are more rural, they're 1, 3, and 5 acres. So that means you have grand estates, really nice winding streets that go through lots of trees, farmland, there's agriculture in there, lots of horse trails, bridle trails that are sneaking and meandering all the way through, a vibrant culture, a very, very strongly rated school district, and this is all concentrated in Indian Hill. It is one of the most beautiful areas in all of Cincinnati, but there are plenty of gorgeous areas throughout the entire city. It's really unique because the median household income takes a huge leap, and that is at $218,000 as the average household income. So in 2024, the median sales price in Indian Hill was $1.9 million. So it takes a huge leap as you come to Indian Hill. And then there was also 54 homes that were sold over $1 million. That's a lot of homes over $1 million, more than any other neighborhood in the entire city of Cincinnati and really the region of Cincinnati. When I say the city, let me clarify real quick. The city is obviously the 52 neighbors I mentioned, but when we say Cincinnati, we mean Cincinnati Metro, which is a much larger area within the city of Cincinnati. And there's plenty more other great neighborhoods around here, but just want to make sure I clarify that one fact. And another really interesting fact, the most expensive home transferred throughout the region via MLS, which is the multiple listing service, was $5.8 million on Fox Cub. Fox Cub is one of the most quintessential Indian Hill gorgeous streets in the entire area. It's a gorgeous house when it comes down to it. But keep in mind, that's on MLS. So Indian Hill really has a lot of high-end homes that are selling. And as you look at high-end homes and you look at what's happening around there, it's mainly due to the proximity to downtown, the acreage, the privacy, the wooded retreats. There's just a lot of mechanisms that go into that and what draws people to Indian Hill. And actually, another fun fact, there's actually no commercial zoning in all of Indian Hill. It's very unique because rarely is there a community like that that actually has something along those lines. And the tax rate is very low in comparison because of the way it's all built and because of the tax base and how the community is maintained. All right, next up, we have the city of Montgomery, which is where I sit right now as we speak. The city of Montgomery, we actually just did our City of the Montgomery video, so we encourage you to take a look at that. It was a little cold, but it was a brisk day, but we shared with you all of the beauty of Montgomery, from the paved walkway trails to the rich history, the proximity to the highways. We were right off of Cross County Highway. I-71 is right here. 275 is on the other northern side of it. Montgomery couldn't be situated any better. And of course, Montgomery has the downtown Montgomery area and the Montgomery corridor, which are two urban districts that make it really truly walkable. Some fantastic places like Montgomery Inn, European Cafe, Deeper Roots. So many fantastic spots that people just love being able to literally walk from where I am today to go pick up a coffee, which is what I'm grabbing off camera right now. So, looking at Montgomery, from the numbers, the average household income in Montgomery is $142,000. Of course, there were a few that were a little bit lower than that. The average price point of home is $655,000 being sold in 2024. There are also 24 homes above $1 million sold in the city of Montgomery. It's a lot of $1 million homes. And that doesn't even count some of the new construction that never actually makes its way on there, just like every other neighborhood. The other thing to know is the most expensive sale on MLS was $2 million. Again, I can say with certainty, there were higher sales above $2 million. In fact, there's a couple new listings coming in the mid-twos here in Montgomery and some really gorgeous homes. And City of Montgomery has some of the nicest, I wouldn't say newer homes, but it runs from the 60s, 70s, 1960s or 70s, all the way up to 2024, 25 that we're sitting in today. Some really nice new suburban housing stock. And that's the reason why so many folks are gravitating to Montgomery when they want to purchase high-end homes. Next up, we're going to go a little bit further north, just outside of the Interstate 275 loop, and that is to the city of Mason. And I'm actually going to say the city of Mason and Deerfield Township because those are two areas that kind of run together. Now, city of Mason can be huge. It stretches pretty much all along I-71, going out over to really the edge of Butler County or into Warren County now. It goes up north. And this can range, heck, from one side of Mason to the other. It might be 20, 25 minutes, depending on which way you're going. So it's a large area. So when you think about sprawl, which is an urban planner's really a verbiage, it really is the sprawl over the past several decades of new housing stock, new neighborhoods that have popped up. Communities like Long Cove or Kensington or the Heritage. These are really affluent neighborhoods in the city of Mason. And that's really what Mason's all about. It's about these neighborhoods, master planned communities that have been developed anywhere from the 90s all the way up to, 2015, 2020. There's been less and less because more of the ground has been bought and developed, but a lot of commercial property, a lot of attractions. Kings Island lives just on the outside, it's kind of Kings-ish area, but you have Deerfield Township, you have the City of Mason Downtown Center. You have so much in the City of Mason that attracts people. In fact, one of my favorite places, we've talked about this in many, many videos, is the Cincinnati Open, the tennis tournament. It's right there at in the City of Mason, the golf course, the Grizzly Golf Course right there, where they have that tennis community, and that's been a really big draw over the years. So that is the City of Mason. And when you look at the real estate, it has been very vibrant over decades now. Actually, that's where I got my first start. I used to work for my dad on the development side. I used to be guys shoveling the curbs of some of these new neighborhoods back in the day because they'd be developing new neighborhoods. Homes would be built, they got to keep them clean. So I'd be out there with a shovel or maybe a weed whip, making sure they look as pristine as possible. So that's how I got my start back, 25 years ago, 30 years ago now. I think I'm aging myself a little bit right there, but that's where this all comes to be. So let's dive into the real estate. So when you look at the residents of Mason, the average household income is $124,000. So obviously it's no number to sniff your nose at, not quite Indian Hill or Montgomery, but it is still very high. And then when you look at the real estate, there's actually been 20 homes over $1 million sold in Mason in 2024. That's a lot of homes, especially consider how much more new construction is happening in Mason than virtually every other neighborhood. Maybe you have Lebanon, obviously, with some areas, Kings, some other suburbs, Loveland, and that sort of thing. But there are a lot of new construction homes that you probably will never see on that list that are sold up and above $1 million. So $20 million sales, $20 million plus sales, we should say. And the highest sale price in Mason was $1.7 million. Again, we know there's plenty over $2 million that have sold new construction wise. And you can't tell, our firm does a lot of new construction, so we know how these things work and where the real prices are. And unfortunately, they don't always make their way onto MLS. But $1.7 million was the highest price point sale in the City of Mason in this last year. So those are our top wealthiest communities in the city of Cincinnati and the Cincinnati metro area. Now, we have a little honorable mention and a bonus to add on for you, and that is Anderson Township. It's probably been in the news a little bit lately because Joe Burrow actually lives in Anderson Township, and there's an area called Riverview Estates that is very, very, very expensive homes. And I probably needed 3 more varies because they are very, very expensive. So they may range anywhere from $2.5 million all the way up to $8-10 million. I might be even low on those numbers. And these are overlooking the river, and it's just gorgeous settings, perched up on the hill near Coldstream, which is a country club over in Anderson Township. But it's one of the most affluent neighborhoods in all of Cincinnati, probably on par with parts of Indian Hill. We had to throw that in just because we're sitting here at the end of 2024. We all know our buddy Joe Burrow. There's other Bengals that live back there as well. It's a very high-end neighborhood. And of course, people gravitate out there because of the mix of high-end homes. People love to build high-end homes near other high-end homes, and that's for safety's sake because of the integrity of neighborhoods. It's not where everybody chooses to build, but it tends to be what we see because when you're investing a lot of money, it's like any investment, you want to do it in a place where you'll get a rate of return and you'll feel comfortable about it. That is our list for the wealthiest communities in the Cincinnati metro area. Curious what you think. We know we left a few out, and the only reason we did so is we tried to use data that we could really qualify all of this. Of course, there were 3 or 4 other communities we wanted to add. There are plenty of places where people choose to spend a lot of money because there are so many great communities in the city of Cincinnati. So hopefully we didn't offend anybody by only listing those. We know that Cincinnati is such a great place. People are choosing to come here to spend a lot of money because it's such a great home. It's a place that's easy jumping off point with the CVG Airport, so many great sports teams to stay and enjoy here. There's a lot going for it here in this Midwest town. Our team at Oyler Hines is really excited and honored to be able to work with all sorts of clients, not just wealthy clients, but everybody in between. We work with so many great and fantastic people that we really appreciate, and it's really a privilege to be able to do so. But as you go through your house hunting journey, whether you're looking to spend money on a very high-end luxury home or you're looking for a modest, beautiful home, we are here to help. We look at all areas. We work in almost every area in the Cincinnati region, even jumping over to Northern Kentucky. And we'd love for you to reach out, ask questions below. Don't hesitate to give me a call. You can reach out at info@Oyler Hines or mike@oylerhines.com. You can give us a call. And we always ask you to leave some comments, share what you think, what do we miss? And as always, we'd encourage you to like and subscribe below so you can see other videos. We'd love for you to share comments below. And stay tuned for our next videos that we'll be launching this year on all those specific communities, great tips on buying, great tips on building, and so much more. Thanks for spending some time with me. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.